Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to share the amazing final day of my consecration to Jesus through Mary. I have consecrated myself to her 9 times. I've used many different versions, right? The 33 Days of Morning Glory or To Morning Glory by Father Michael Gately. I actually did that 7 times. And then my former co-host of Radio Maria, Christine Watkins, I did her Mary's Mantle consecration, which was a very different consecration. But this time, True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort. And I am telling you, it is so intense. It is a real commitment. But for the first time in my journey, I truly believe in my mind and in my heart, right? Where the faith goes from your head to your heart. I understand Mary's role, not only in the church, but in my own life. Wow. So today it was confession, and I went to confession first before Mass. I was a blubbering idiot. The very first thing I confessed was that I was a false devotee to Mary. I used to pray the Rosary, and when I say pray, I really mean just recite it, checking off the box. I never really took it to heart and meditated for any length of time. And then that was the first thing I confessed, was being a false devotee, and my tears just started coming. I took the time to write down everything that I wanted to bring into confession. And then the beautiful absolution, I just walked out so refreshed, and I knew when I was going to Mass that I was going to do everything possible to cast out and renounce my lack of appropriate reverence and disposition. So I actually went to adoration before Mass. I prayed all of the St. Louis de Montfort prayers. And then I went to Mass, and then I received communion in a whole new way. So try this if you can. So before I get into line to receive, I am asking and renouncing to God the Father, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and to Mary. I am renouncing all of my sinfulness, my selfishness, and I am asking for Mary to come into my soul, to replace my heart, to receive Jesus on my behalf. Because I'm a sinful worm, right? I mean, I'm not reverent enough, and my selfishness and my own mind plays tricks on me that I'm not as sinful as I am. And so then, as I'm in line waiting to receive the Lord, I am renouncing myself yet again, and I'm speaking to the Father and to the Son and to the Holy Spirit 3 times separately, saying, Lord, please don't look upon my sins. Please bring Mary into my heart. Please, I want to receive you with Mary in my heart and soul. Don't look on my sins. Look at Mary's merits and her grace. And Holy Spirit, please, please allow Mary and Jesus into my soul to sanctify me, where they can grow together in my heart, because those two are inseparable. It's like trying to take the light away from the sun or the heat away from the fire. And then after I receive, I close my eyes and I just ask Jesus and Mary to grow in me. I step aside. You can also, it says, like look at it like the king and the queen are having their own discussion and we're looking on. I just beg Mary and Jesus to grow in my soul, grow in my heart. And then afterward, I went back into adoration and I prayed the Rosary. I was meditating on the mysteries. I was listening to every single word of the Hail Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with you. I have to think about how Mary isn't even in herself anymore. She's so humble. She denied herself and died to herself to the point where she is just filled to the brim with the Holy Spirit, her beloved spouse who came over her. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, intercede for me. Please pray for me now and at the hour of my death. I mean, amazing. Thank you, St. Louis de Montfort. I recommend that consecration to anyone. Just know that it's intense. So, like for the last 7 days, it was getting to know Jesus, and there were a lot of readings, and I did it all on an Audible book, so I was listening to it. It might even take you longer than 3 hours to get through all of the readings if you're actually reading it. I was listening and it was amazing. I looked forward to that time because I was learning more about how we need to be. They used the example of Esau and Jacob. And when Jacob was really like in his mother's heart, only doing what his mother wanted, and Esau was the big outside guy. Esau represents the reprobates. Jacob, who becomes Israel, is the chosen ones. And so it's just amazing, amazing. And I just had to share it with all of you. Mass and Holy Communion, I've never paid more attention, been more open with my heart. The Rosary was a whole new deal. And I just want to thank God for giving me these beautiful graces. Thank Mary for being the intercessory, heartful, loving mother to Jesus for me, opening my heart to her, and for touching St. Louis de Montfort in such a way that he opened my eyes and my heart to Mary in a whole new way. Oh, I'm so grateful. And I must share it because we all need Mary in our life. I remember my book, there's a chapter in my book, Mary, 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 supposed to be like Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. Like, what's the big deal with Mary? Of course, she's a mother of God. She's a virgin. She's sinless. But you really don't think about how amazing it is. And today, the Feast of the Visitation, this was the first miracle that she and Jesus, who was in her womb together, it's Jesus's grace, it's Jesus's power, but through Mary, by her voice, coming in and talking to Elizabeth, St. John the Baptist in her womb leapt for joy. It was the first spiritual miracle before the wedding at Cana, which again was another one. Mary asks Jesus, please, they have no wine. What do you have to do with me, mother? Woman, excuse me, he calls her, not mother. He's still keeping her in secret. There are so many amazing things in this consecration that I think every single person who says that they're devoted to Mary really needs to read and put in their heart, because I'm positive that your devotion will be set on fire and that the Holy Spirit, who is filled in Mary, will fill your soul and sanctify you even more. I cannot say enough. It's been amazing. I can't wait to get on with this day and see what God is going to do through Mary with Jesus in my life every single day. Amazing. Enjoy the Feast of the Visitation. Get on out there like Mary and share what God has done in your life. Read the Magnificat. Remember, your soul should magnify the Lord, because if you magnify your problems or the situations or the circumstances in your life, God gets littler and tinier and your problems get bigger and bigger. So remember to magnify God in your soul. We want to imitate Mary. We want her to pray on our behalf to Jesus, who is always with her. I'm going to remind you that even the evil spirits, when they're in the midst of exorcisms, have to say the truth about Mary, how holy she is and blessed. They hate her name. They don't like her brought up. Think about all the heretical and schismatic denominations that are indifferent to Mary, or who actually think that we worship Mary, which we do not. Why wouldn't we run to Mary, who is the chosen person, a human being, full of grace, never sinned, was the tabernacle of the Lord, who fed Jesus, who raised Jesus, and Jesus was obedient to her for 30 years. They are inseparable. That's why she was assumed into heaven. That is why she is above all saints and angels, all the hierarchy. She is at the right hand of Jesus. And she is the mediatrix of grace. So she, with Jesus, gives out grace. That's her reward for being solely 100% sinless, filled with grace, and humbly gave her entire existence to God. Thank you, Mary. You, because of you and your fiat and your yes, and raising Jesus and humbly allowing God to take over your life, you brought the Word incarnate to the world. And for that, we owe you so much, more than devotion could ever be. All righty, everyone, I love you all. Find something more with Jesus and Mary. They're inseparable. Pray the Rosary with a new vigor, a new zeal for all that she has done to us, because without her, will we be saved? Would salvation come on this earth? I don't know. Don't even want to think about it. Have a blessed and inspired day.